Before I start, I just want to do a quick shout out to Cloud Assert. We have Arun today as a speaker. Again, thank you, Arun, and also the team for supporting us all the way from India and all the way from US. Really, thank you so much. Cloud Assert has been a wonderful partner for Cloudify Asia. We have been together, we have embarked with many customers, whether it could be a government, whether it could be a telco, whether it could be a cloud providers, both in Malaysia, in Singapore, and even in Indonesia as well. Yeah, so definitely something very exciting. And then of course, for those who are not aware, Cloud Assert has a very tightly integration with Microsoft and some of the ecosystem, including Dell as well, right, to provide that seamless integration and solution for you. I'm not going to steal the thunder and let Arun to share the details with you. And we also have Lam from Dell today. They will be sharing amazing technology on Azure CI, how to have cloud, right, in your premise, and how do you use that in your environment, and how do you partner together with Cloud Assert and Cloudify Asia to bring to the market. Thank you so much for your time. So without further ado, right, I wanted to start this particular presentation, right? I wanted to give more times for Arun and Lam to share some of the goodies they have. The reason for this particular webinar is actually revolving on a new business demand in the market today, right? We have been looking into the demand from partners, customers, and even government, right, that require very fast service delivery. They want it immediately. Today, probably you are aware, if you are sending email to our customers or sending emails to even your colleague, right, they expect to have immediate response, just like WhatsApp, right? So that is something that is the trend nowadays, where the instantaneous requirement is needed. Then of course, you need to have a better customer experience. If you're coming from a partner background, you know that customer experience is very key to continue to become your customers. A lot of big companies or even cloud companies, right, they are coming into the country, they're coming into the region. They were able to provide many particular portals, many different experience. So being a partner, if you're able to consolidate and provide a seamless experience, that is something that is very niche to you. And of course, one of the key points as well is that businesses are ramping up very fast. And the business unit, again, as I mentioned, based on our experience, whether it could be from a telco, whether it could be from a mid-market segment, whether it could be a SME, right, even from a startup industry, and even government, right, they will want to able to align the IT cost to the business. They want to align how much am I using for this particular project, how much am I using for this particular department, for example, how much ROI am I getting for that particular new initiative, for example. So those are very important in today's world, right? Especially because this is a post-pandemic world. And there are a lot of people asking me some of this question, right? How can I make sure that my team members can better do in terms of innovation, instead of just keep doing the routine thing? For example, provisioning, for example, could be monitoring, right, and so forth. How do I make sure that my equipment is up and running, right? I don't need to keep worrying about the equipment. How do I make sure that my equipment is fully certified by Dell, by Microsoft, and so forth, right? And of course, a lot of time, as I talk to some of the larger customers as well, the budgeting process and the procurement is a very big hindering, right? Yesterday, I have a chat with one of the Japanese company, and I'm very proud that our long customers, where they have been working on pay-per-use model for many years, and they benefited from this pay-per-use model. We're able to increase the consumption, we're able to reduce the consumption through a particular solution and portal as well, right? So that is something that is fantastic. And of course, the visibility, how do they were able to align the cost. So these are the actual demand, not only from end user, but also from our partners. And today I know that there are a couple of partners that are joining here today. I just want to welcome you. And then I trust that today you'll be learning and take home, right? Not with additional costs, but take home with how do you increase new revenue for your business. And a lot of people also inform us that, hey, there are also some other challenges is that what happens if there's a technology lockdown, right? How do I manage long procurement cycle, right? And also how do I manage public cloud, for example, right? One of the very large company in Cyberjaya, they actually told me in the actual case, right? They said that, hey, Gavin, I got a shock of my bill. When my guys go and provision the Azure, right, there's no workflow. And when the bill come at the end of the day, I got shocked. And then I asked my staff, what happened? Why do we get this bill? And the staff only got one reply and said, oh, boss, I forgot to turn off the virtual machine. Right? So those are the things that is happening in the real world today. Right? I'm quoting the real world challenges from the real customers. So that's why they needed a business agility. Of course, this is where some of the public cloud, whether it could be on-premise cloud, and of course some of the new technology that will be benefited, but it has to be able to be managed seamlessly, right, across in a single platform, in an overview and so forth. This is where I'm so happy to able to partner with Cloud Assert and also Dell in order to achieve this. And also, a lot of customers are telling partners like us, right? For the partners out there, a lot of people are telling us that, hey, customers wanted our partners to able to do pay-per-use model going forward. They realize the importance of pay-per-use in the public cloud, and then they're wanting the pay-per-use model to do across in a many space. So today, whether you are a customer or whether you are from a partner landscape, right, then you realize that there will be multi-cloud requirement in the near future, if it's not today. So the question now is that the demand is already there. What are you going to do about that, right? So from Cloudify Asia perspective, what we visualize, what we wanted to do, partnering with Dell, partnering with Cloud Assert, is to able to provide a multi-cloud portal from a business point of view, right, to manage various of workloads and various of cloud. We want our partners were able to advise our customers to put the right workload close to the data, right? Based on the regulation, based on the need, and not just because to move from one destination to the other destination. No, you will need to move to the right cloud. You have to move to the right cloud native foundation. It can be on-prem, it could be at the edge, right? Or it could be public cloud. But partnering with Cloud Assert and Dell were able to do that, right? So this is where Arun later I'm going to share how you're able to manage various of cloud platform seamlessly, how you're able to manage pay-per-use model, right? How do you able to manage catalog, for example, across various of use cases, and of course, it can be applied for various industry as well. So that is something that we are very keen. Our vision and mission is always to empower partners so that you can do better in your business growth. So using a cloud management portal, right, it will be a multi-tenancy platform that you were able to do Chargeback and Chargeback in a single dashboard. And with that being said, there are many other features, right? For example, could be cost of optimization, multi-cloud brokering, right? Governance, workflow, right? As I mentioned to you that public cloud do not provide approval workflow. How do you know that? When do you need to approve? So with the solution that is ready available, you're able to do that, and your customers will be very sticky to you. Your business unit, your department, right? Your end users will be very sticky to you because this will be your branding, right? It is your branding. It's not Dell, it's not Cloud Assert, it's not Cloudify. It is your own branding. They were able to provide various of services in your fingertip. It's just like a Lazada, right? Whenever you see a Lazada or Shopee a discount, you'll be very itchy, right? To go to the self-service portal and provision to buy the stuff. It is the same case here, right? Bringing in a B2C mentality here in a B2B space, something that will be very doable even today, right? And of course, not only just cloud, but of course later on, Arun will share that even beyond cloud, including the backup platform, including the Dell solutioning, for example, Dell backup solutioning and so forth, is also possible as well, right? I don't want to steal away the thunder. I'm so excited. I don't want to steal away thunder from Arun and also Lam, right? Yeah, so I just want to pass the session over to Arun to share you the goodies that they have. Arun, I pass to you.
Thanks, Kevin. It's a fantastic and very insightful presentation. Hello, everyone. My name is Arun, Business Development Manager here at Cloud Assert, based out of India. Let me share my screen. All
Yep, you
right.
can see your screen. Yeah, the stage is all yours.
Thanks, Kevin, once again. So it is obvious now that you all know many of the customers' environments are evolving. They continue to grow, not in terms of volumes, but in terms of complexity as well. You know, as a lot of technologies coming in, people started using databases, containers, serverless, and plethora of public cloud services, you name it, right? And then the programming languages have also evolved. It is not the old age C, C++, but you started using languages in these days like Java, C Sharp, .NET, Python, Golang, and whatnot. Again, the infrastructure in which the applications should run has become diverse. It could be running on the edge, data center, IoT devices, or any of your branch offices. As a result, you need to ensure when these applications are hosted on the public cloud or edge or data centers, you need application that can be built and deployed in any of these infrastructures and be able to manage them easily regardless of where it is hosted, right? So one of the common questions that customers like you will have when they deal with multiple cloud is, hey, how do I governance and manage multiple services from a centralized place? Or otherwise, how do I bring cloud innovation from my existing on-premise infrastructure? Or how do I operate my data center as a public or hybrid cloud? Or how do I modernize my data center with the new cloud infra, like repurposing the hardware, be it on VMware, Azure Stack HCI, and whatnot. So the possibilities are becoming endless while you started evolving, right? So with this said, let me quickly switch gears to talk a little bit about Cloud Assert and introduce our multi-cloud management solution, Hybr, to understand the value that it brings to the multi-cloud space. As a company, we Cloud Assert are an independent software vendor and Microsoft Gold partner for some of the capabilities, namely application development and integration, cloud platform, and DevOps. So we've been in existence in this field over 7+ years and are headquartered in the United States, having branch offices in Canada and India. So as a product company, our original focus is to deliver solutions and services for private and hybrid cloud technologies. So we have customers across the globe, over 30+ countries today, that spans from small to large enterprises, including Fortune 100 and 500 customers, top 5 financial institutions, healthcare providers, government agencies, OEMs, service providers, to name a few. And some of, not some, most of the Southeast Asia customers we got is through from Cloudify team, Gavin. So as Gavin said, we have very tight relationship with Cloudify Asia to help customers in the multi-cloud hybrid cloud space. Right. So aside from product-based company, we do help customers by giving professional services, particularly in the cloud area. Helping customers to modernize your legacy applications for the cloud, provide consulting for architecture designs to migrate to cloud, modernizing your data center. We also focused on MSP services as well by being your extended technology partner in managing your cloud infrastructure, be it in Azure or AWS. Right. So moving to Hybr, let's see what is Hybr and the solution landscape that Cloud Assert offers in Hybr for the multi-cloud space. Right. Hybr is a white-labeled multi-tenant self-service platform that helps you with first-class integrations to the data center, public, private, or hybrid cloud platforms like VMware, Hyper-V via System Center, Azure Stack family like Azure Stack Hub, Azure Stack HCI, public clouds like Azure, AWS, to name a few, for rich management, automation, and seamless end-to-end billing experience. Right. So when you look at the middle of this image that I shared here, right, you see some of the core capabilities, namely hybrid cloud orchestration, cloud migration, cloud governance, marketplace, CSP, self-service, cloud billing, and cost management, right? So we have enabled these core capabilities in Hybr, be it for enterprises or service provider scenarios. So typically, when you look at the multi-cloud management platform, right? So you would expect a robust cloud orchestration engine that can help you integrate with multiple cloud platforms to provision and manage workloads. Right. So on the other hand, you would need a end-to-end billing solution for monetizing your infrastructure. That is to track the resource consumption and do billing for usages across hybrid clouds. And then you would want to advertise your multiple cloud offerings for your customers in a rich fashion through a custom curated marketplace, right? Also, if you happen to be a Microsoft CSP partner, then you would want to offer a self-service portal experience for your customers to purchase Microsoft cloud services like O365, Dynamic 365, Azure subscriptions by themselves without having your interventions. Am I right? So originally, we built these solutions as a custom resource provider for Windows Azure Pack that you see here in the top left of this image. And then we brought the same capabilities to Azure Stack Hub as a native resource provider, out of the box capabilities. We are one of the 2 vendors in the world has been approved by Microsoft to build resource providers for Azure Stack Hub to enable cross-cloud integration and billing. So that is not supported in Azure Stack Hub out of the box by Microsoft. So we, as an approved partner with Microsoft, we deliver such solutions to Azure Stack Hub, which is Microsoft hybrid cloud technology for cross-cloud integration and billing. Right? And we brought the same thing to Hybr, which is an independent platform to materialize all these core capabilities from a centralized place. Okay, so if you want to utilize all these capabilities in your Windows Azure Pack, we have a solution. If you are using Azure Stack Hub, then we have a solution as a resource provider to materialize all these capabilities. If you are looking for an alternate solution for Windows Azure Pack, but not wanted to use these technology inside Azure Stack Hub, then we have a solution which is called Hybr, which is an independent portal solution. You can host it in your on-premise to use it as an on-prem solution for cross-cloud integration, multi-cloud integration and management and billing. Or if you want to use it as a SaaS portal, then very well you can deploy it in any of the public clouds like Azure or AWS and use it as a SaaS portal. So whatever fits to your business, we will deliver Hybr likewise. Okay. So moving to the next slide. So what Hybr offers for multi-cloud space? So from the multi-cloud standpoint, it is necessary to integrate with various virtualization and cloud platforms to provision and manage workloads. And it should integrate with backup providers like Veeam, Commvault, or any of the leading backup providers to take backups of your provisioned VMs from your data center. Right? So apart from this, you also need a robust cloud orchestration engine that lets you the whole process customizable and extensible. Now, what it means? Think about provisioning a VM through an ARM template. An ARM template has a series of steps that goes about for the provisioning process, similar to any operational templates, right? So these templates can be completely customizable to align with your specific business needs by injecting a custom workflows, like making an entry into your CMDB system when you provision or deprovision a VM, or creating service node tickets while you provision a VM, and so on through Hybr, right? Also, you don't want someone to go and provision any critical workloads without the approval of the superior or IT head. And for that, you need a robust workflow engine to be integrated with your multi-cloud management platform, right? So then you would want to exercise all these governance and control in terms of how you want to model the services, and who you want to offer what services and to what extent, and which are the services to be bundled as a premium offers that caters to your specific customer needs, right? So now if you want to bundle and sell your multiple cloud services in a curated marketplace, then you would need a service catalog management option. That is a marketplace kind of experience with the multi-cloud management platform, right? So as a result, all these things can be achieved, materialized through Hybr with its core set of capabilities. Okay, so Hybr could be your one-stop shop solution for all your multi-cloud management and billing needs. Okay, so then on the other spectrum, you need a robust billing and cost management engine that gives you a complete visibility of your total spends across multiple clouds and be able to track the resource consumption, right? So Hybr allows you to define various pricing profiles, be it pay-as-you-go model or a flat fixed fee model, and it helps you to compute the costs based on the consumptions and generate invoices for the end users, be it for showback or chargeback purposes, right? So Hybr has a sophisticated billing engine that is built based on real-time practical needs from hosting providers, service providers, and enterprises across the globe. Okay, so that is where we evolved our billing solution in these years, right? So we also have taken a baby steps on discovery and migration. You see in the bottom of this diagram, right? Discovering by what it means, discovering your VMs, databases, IaaS websites from your database from your data center, and be able to migrate to any of the public or private clouds like Azure, Azure Stack Hub, or even Azure Stack HCI in place. Okay, so this is the area we will evolve down the line, and that is going to be pretty much what we hear from customers like you in the coming days. So this is the gist of what Hybr offers in the multi-cloud space. So let me quickly touch upon multi-tenancy in Hybr for the next couple of minutes. So let me move to the next slide. Right. So you may have a question now in mind that, hey, how do I offer common or different set of services across multi-cloud infrastructure, but are unique to each of my tenants, right? So for this, you should need a good mechanism with the cloud management platform to bundle services from various cloud providers like VMware, Hyper-V infrastructure, Azure, AWS, Azure Stack family, to create a unique plan for your customers as an offer. Okay, so there is no difference, and this is similar to what you experience in Azure Public Cloud. So whatever the process, the flow I have shown here, there is no difference. Whatever you've seen in Azure Public Cloud, the same process we follow in Hybr, creating quotas, plans, and bundle it as offer for your customers to subscribe services through Hybr from your multi-cloud infrastructures, right? So with this quotas, plans, and offers, you still have a total control on what the end customer have to provision and what kind of operations they can perform, like restricting the number of VMs to be provisioned, how many cores, RAMs in GBs should exist while they provision resource through a particular subscription that you expose for them. So based on that, you can create multiple plans and offers like gold, silver, bronze, and expose it to your customers that caters your specific business needs. And also you would want to track the resource consumption for each subscription that the user got subscribed to, right? To aggregate the usage and compute costs. So depends on your customer's specific billing needs. You can model various pricing profiles through Hybr and expose it as one of the services through plans and offers that the end customer subscribe. So now when it comes to identity integration, Hybr supports Azure AD, Enterprise ADFS, or any other custom identities using identity servers that you use today for seamless authentication and authorization purposes. So as a result, you no need to undergo any difficult onboarding process in Hybr when you onboard a customer. Right. So why are you waiting for? Start maximizing your business revenue by getting started with Hybr. And Kevin and Cloudify Asia team will help you to get hands-on to the product whenever you feel that you are ready. So with that said, I'm handing over the mic to Gavin.
Thanks, Arun. Thank you so much for such insightful, right? I'm sure that there are some of them who would love to see the demo. Do ping us if you want to see the demo. Arun, we got one question from the audience. I think the question is from Norahimi. She's asking, how can a CMP Hybr manage the cloud cost more effectively? We want to answer this before I pass it to Lam.
Yeah, absolutely.
How can the solution manage the cloud cost more effectively?
So can you elaborate a little bit more what you exactly want to understand here?
I think probably they are checking whether how do they able to measure that the usage and the metering, right? Is based on a particular budget, and make sure that they don't over exceed the usage and so forth, lah. Right? Any feature functions from Hybr that were able to better manage from a cost perspective.
Got it, understood.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you can. So as I mentioned, you can integrate your multiple clouds with Hybr, and you'll be able to see how much resources have been utilized and what are all its costs in respect to each clouds. Right. For example, if you integrated with VMware, you could see how much has been consumed and how much cost for VMware resources. Similar to other clouds as well.
Okay, Arun, thank you so much. Fantastic. Yeah, so I think I'm going to pass it to Lam. Lam, thank you. Pass to you. I know you're going to share some fantastic solution from Dell. Lam, I pass to you.
Yep. Thanks, Kevin.
Arun,
thanks, Kevin.
Yeah. Arun, can you help to unshare? Okay, so that Lam will be able to share his slide. Thank you so much.
All right. So I think you're able to see my slide already. All right. So good afternoon to everyone. Thanks, Kevin, invite me for this chat section to share about the hybrid cloud architecture. So just now Arun has shared with you the integration between the multi-cloud how to do Chargeback, everything. So now actually it's time for me to share with you about the platform, because of you need the platform to host all the application as well as your OSs and so on. So let me just move my slide. Sorry. Okay. Right. So today I just going through with you about the Azure Stack HCI. So and also introduce you the HCI portfolio and positioning and why Azure Stack HCI. So this is actually what we have launched, this Azure Stack HCI in July. So all the leaders from Dell, from Microsoft, Intel, so have actually proudly announced this new platform, which is Azure Stack HCI. So this is for APJ launching just only a few months ago. So this is talk about this Azure Stack, how actually people are going to HCI hybrid cloud architecture. So based on this chart, is actually we have this Dell and Intel done the survey over the 4,300 business leader. So they actually you can see from the year on this. Let me bring up my laser pointer. All right. So you can see. So people actually started on 2016. It's 15%. It's actually still nervous, don't know where to go, and you can see now year 2020 only 3% people actually not believing or don't know the direction how they go to on the digital transformation. So you can see from here the digital followers actually keep getting improvement, and also digital evaluator, digital adopters is actually getting higher already. So then now who is a digital leader is still very minority, because of people don't know how to choose whether it's a full cloud solution or hybrid cloud solution or on-prem solution. So you can see 89% of the organization is recognized that they need a more agile IT infrastructure, which is they able to burst their solution, which is their application whenever they need high performance, high resources, then there is a platform for them to embark with. So that's why they can actually do a lot of contingency plan, especially for the COVID. Suddenly, all the people work from home, and their servers or their bandwidth or their architecture is not able to accommodate those load from people are remotely accessed. So that's why this is a contingency. We don't know this COVID happened so sudden, right? Then everyone been locked down at home. So that's why this is actually give alert to all the organization that plan ahead, how actually they move on and to adopt those contingency when happen again, so they can actually agile to change their architecture. Okay, let me introduce you this entire Dell EMC HCI portfolio. Actually, HCI for Dell EMC is not new. We have been in the market many years ago. Okay, when we started that, we're actually talking about the VMware. So VMware, we have VxRail that actually validly deployed in the market, and also customer also happy with that. That actually targeted to those customers actually running on VMware architecture platform. So we do have the PowerFlex, which is this shared infrastructure. So this shared infrastructure, which is you can be running on different type of hypervisor, then we can help you to aggregate all the disks and then give you a single console to manage everything together. So that is actually PowerFlex for shared infrastructure. And today, I'm specifically only focused on this Microsoft Hyper-V, which is Microsoft Stack HCI. So Microsoft Hyper-V is actually, you hear it many times, everyone also using it. So that today I will share with you more about HCI, Azure Stack HCI. And we do have this Nutanix, which is the XC core. We are OEM from Nutanix. So this is actually all the platform HCI portfolio that we are offering to all the customer. So all the platform is actually powered by this Power Edge server. Then we have the purpose built for all the HCI. Any kind of requirement, we're able to meet your requirement. So that's actually we're giving you all one platform, and also fast response time because of everything is actually pre-validated from the vendor, from the principal, like OS vendor, like VMware, Microsoft. They actually validated all the design then before we roll out to the market, right? So as I say, today I just focus on Microsoft Azure. So Microsoft Azure, that actually is a cloud name. So in that, customer actually also looking at hybrid cloud, which is they wanted to host their data on-prem. So initially, Microsoft when started Azure, So they know this market is a big market for them. A lot of customers reluctant to go for the cloud. That's why they actually started with the Microsoft Azure Stack Hub. So Microsoft Azure Stack Hub is actually solely bring the Azure cloud from the cloud go to the on-prem, right? So you can create multi-tenant. So this is actually able to let a customer to do some data sovereignty issue because they don't allow certain data to be actually published on the cloud or hosted on the cloud platform, and also done doing some of the application modernization. So and also there is actually needs that they able to host multi-tenant for on-prem architecture. So today we have launched Azure Stack HCI. This is actually solely talk about single tenant strategy, which is all the customer, if they're running on Windows architecture or Hyper-V architecture, they would like to actually move, transform, or maybe go into the hybrid cloud architecture. So this actually Stack HCI is actually best fit because of you able to scale the virtualization and storage, and also you can deploy this Azure Stack HCI into remote branches, right? So and last, you can host all the high performance workload because of this architecture has few models for you to choose. So later I will share with you all the models that we're offering to the customer. And last is Azure Stack Edge, which is talk about nowadays people are talking about machine learning. They need to put some IoT sensor at the remote area. So before the data sending back to the data center, they were actually doing some of the basic analysis before they can execute some of the command before the data actually sending back to the core data center. So that's why we also able to offer you the this Azure Stack Edge solution that accommodate those users, like for example plantation requirement for banking solution. So they actually have a lot of ATM machine remotely. So that's actually all the things you can be deployed on this Azure Stack Edge as well. Okay, so overall it's actually managed by Azure Arch. So Azure Arch is actually one of the centralized management console that make you the feel, looks and like the Azure Stack Azure. So you no need to relearn, retrain the user again. Everything seems same as Azure Cloud. So even on-prem, when you log into the management console, it looks exactly same like Azure Cloud management console, right? So that's why we're using this Azure Arch to manage everything, even on-prem, cloud, or a hybrid solution. Okay, so let me move to the next one, which is talk about this Azure Stack HCI. So giving a streamlined and simplified operation because of everything looks alike on the Azure Cloud, and cloud-like flexibility, which is whenever you need it, you only just deploy it. So this is actually the new HCI OS platform. So that's actually introduced by Microsoft. And for those days, you know it's a Windows OS that now actually they're moving into Microsoft Azure OS. So this actually is subscription model. Whenever you need how many core, you don't need to worry about how many core licensing, memory licensing, and so on, because everything is on subscription basis. And this is actually enterprise class support for you because of everything is single support. You don't need to worry about, hey, I'm now buying the hardware already for cloud, hybrid cloud solution. So when I have challenges, who should I contact to, right? So you actually can straight away contact to the single point of contact, which is Dell. Then because all the engineer has been trained together with the Azure solution and as well the hardware architecture. So everything our support team able to address for your concern in one-stop solution. Okay. Right. What is Azure Stack HCI? So this actually people targeted those customers wanted to transform their traditional architecture into modern architecture. So especially people are running on Hyper-V, they're actually comfortable with Hyper-V, but they don't want to change the way of their managing the environment. So they can actually leverage on this Azure Stack HCI because it has an enterprise class hyper converged infrastructure that covers storage space direct, Azure Inspire, and also able to do the stretch clustering, which is you're able to do two data center across the building. So whenever the building doing maintenance, you can shut down the entire building and all the workload can be moved over to the other building, right? So this also can be enabled on this Azure Stack HCI. And Azure Stack HCI also enable you the Azure Hybrid by design, which is all the HCI resources is provided, and then you no need to worry about the console is different, all right? Because it's actually powered by the Microsoft Azure Arch and giving you a single portal to manage from the cloud, on-prem, or even the edge location. So everything is seamless to you. Then always up to date, which is those data, those firmware BIOS, because this Azure Stack HCI working closely with our Dell EMC Open Manager. So whenever there is a new update, the updates can be applied directly from Azure Stack into all the hardware BIOS, drivers, or even others hardware component peripherals needed. So this actually, you don't need to worry about the upgrade. You need to validate again. Everything is actually supported and validated, right? So there are also native integration with Azure services, like what Arun just now mentioned. You can be integrated into that as well. And familiar management and operation, that what I emphasizes just now, everything is actually the screen looks alike. It's not much changes from the traditional OS, my Windows OS, now even moving to the Azure Stack. So everything is actually looks feel and exactly same like the traditional. So for user, no need to relearn again. And even your Windows admin center, the system center also can be do integration and can be managed by this do architecture, right? So Dell EMC integrated system for this Microsoft Azure Stack HCI is really giving you a full stack lifecycle management. That's what I mentioned. One button update, everything is actually covered, include the software, OSs, hardware, firmware, hardware BIOS driver, or hardware driver. So it is everything. You just need to just click one update, then the system will bring down the particular node for maintenance. And before they bring down the node, they will move all the workload to another surviving node, right? So this actually eliminated all the downtime, right? So, and also meet the requirement of the broad set of use case. For example, whenever you need databases, SQL databases for this hybrid cloud platform, at the same time, you also need a AD server, web server, or any other third-party application. It can be hosted into this Azure Stack HCI, because you can create different kind of requirement to meet the different use case. So global support solution level, which is what I mentioned, everything just one support call. You no need to worry about that. And last, actually pay as you use consumption option, because of the new Azure Stack OSs, is actually allows you to like Azure Cloud, you just pay whatever that you need on terms of licensing, right? Okay, all-in-one validated HCI. So this is how the architecture looks like. It's very straightforward. You just you actually coming from this AX node, which is the Azure Stack hardware. So it's provided by Dell EMC. So working together with our power switch, then this actually both also how you actually connected to the entire data center. This is a top of rack switch on top of this Azure Stack hardware component. Then you can provision the OS like what I mentioned, Azure Stack HCI OS. So it's a subscription model based on the licensing, and you can have this SDS and also SDN. So this actually all combined to provide you a OS platform. Then you can provision Windows OSs, guest OS, and also Linux guest OS. So Windows licensing is actually based on normal license that you have, whatever license is actually applied, right? So on top of that, we actually provide you the Open Manager integration. This is actually helping you to do the one-stop updates, which is everything from the cloud, Azure. When alert there is a updates, you just straight away click updates, and this Open Manager will integrate to Dell EMC hardware and help you to do those hardware BIOS driver update as well. And this actually the Azure portal and the Azure Arch that giving you this one glance to manage a site recovery, backup, and also update management. So this is actually all the manageability layer. And last is actually all your application, all your workload. You can be hosted the Robo remote office, SQL database, Hyper-V refresh, all the new old Hyper-V can be moved into this new platform. And you can deploy a VDI, virtual desktop solution, and secure virtualization as well. And last, you also can be plugged into to provision the AKS, which is the Kubernetes integration, right? So let me, yeah. Okay. Right. So what's the use case for this? Use case actually target to those customer actually has a Windows servers Hyper-V refresh. So that's actually you can actually target use case because of they want to upgrade tech refresh their OS Windows OS. They actually can move into this Microsoft Azure Stack OSs. Right. And also this actually trusted enterprise virtualization because everything has been running for many years, and both company, Microsoft and Dell, has a close collaboration to come out this Azure Stack HCI. And if let's say you have this virtual desktop infrastructure, so at the even at the edge location, you can be deployed on using this Stack HCI. Remote office, high performance, latency sensitive. You also can be using this Azure Stack because of we have different type of hardware to accommodate all the needs that you want, and tightly integrate with Kubernetes. This is actually modern application. More and more customer looking at this Kubernetes development. So this Azure Stack HCI also can be hosted for those applications. So we have more than 1,200 customers worldwide, covered 45 countries worldwide. This is actually, you can see how many nodes that we have been deployed and how much capacity we have been deployed as well, 250 petabyte plus. So let me show you this model that what we have offering now for this hybrid cloud, which is the AX model. We have this small footprint, which is the AX 6400, 6500, and also AMD chipset, which is the AX 6515. So we have this demanding workload model. So we can go with this AX 7400, AX 7500, and also the AMD highest end models, which is AX 7525. So we have different type of configuration that can adapt into your requirements. Right, you can see in terms of the process capacity this media. So everything is actually equipped with SSD and NVMe. Right, so there's no worry about the performance, and we do have the DDR to reduce the data footprint. So this is actually everything into this AX platform. Okay, we are number one in servers HCI segment.
HCI market. Number one in HCI server and HCI for Microsoft solutions market. Partnership with Microsoft that has spanned 30 years. Co-located Dell Technologies engineers at Microsoft headquarters that allows us to spend thousands of engineering person hours validating joint solutions to provide customers confidence and peace of mind. High available HCI.
All right. So thanks. This is my last slide already. Thanks for the time that attending this event. So I pass over back to Kevin.
Lam, thank you so much for the nice sharing. We got one question from the audience. I think the question was, what is the difference between the support between the normal server and also the PowerEdge and Azure HCI server? Is there any difference in terms of
yes,
support?
there's a difference. So for the support, there's a special number for you to dial in for Azure Stack HCI because we have designated the person, the support personnel that able to handle the Azure Stack, Microsoft, as well as the hardware. So this person, you no need to back end to call, working together with others party. Like, for example, you log the case. Suddenly the AD server has been, the Azure Stack server has been corrupted, couldn't access. So you don't know whether it's hardware or software. So when you call this number, then you're able to address you everything. So in the back end, we are not calling to the other party because the person that's supporting you, right, is actually trained in Microsoft as well as PowerEdge. So actually help you to eliminate all the unnecessary time then to bring up your architecture.
Thank you, Lam. Thank you so much. Right.
Thank you.
So thank you so much, Dell and also Cloud Assert for supporting this particular webinar. Right. I'm going to give you a small teaser. Right. For those who are joining. This is actually how it looked like. We actually have a POC environment with a Dell Azure HCI on Cloud Assert Hybr. Right. So for those who are wondering how does it look like, this is how it look like. You have a single dashboard. You can put in your local currency. You can see the consumption. You can connect to Azure HCI. In actual fact, Cloud Assert Hybr is probably the only CMP that can connect to Azure HCI. and it's probably the only CMP that can connect to a Dell storage as well, right? So this is definitely a very fantastic integration. And Azure R will be also complementary on top of Cloud Assert Hybr. They were able to provide certain monitoring and usage. But Cloud Assert Hybr is a true multi-tenancy platform. So for partner like you can do your own branding. You can use your own URL, right, to combine a various of cloud resources, including Azure, HCI, Hub, VMware, AWS, in a consolidated view perspective. And do reach out to us if you are keen to proceed for a demo. Right? Do you have any other question for us? Any other question? Feel free to ask Arun or ask Alam, right? And before you leave, I need a small help, right? Please do a QR code and put in the simplest feedback form. It really helps us a lot. We wanted to improve on how to better serve you, what kind of content you love to hear, and if you have any card requirement, or if you want to schedule for a POC with us on a Cloud Assert, feel free to let us know as well. Or you want to know more about the use case about Azure CI, who are using that, do reach out to us as well, right? Please fill in the survey form. And then that's all for those who have completed the survey form. Thank you so much. That's all for today's webinar, right? Thank you.